IREN closed a 2.3 billion convertible note offering, and it repurchased an old note to retire it. So this 2.3 billion offering comes in two tranches of convertible notes, one at 1 billion at 0.25% due 2032, and then another billion at 1% due 2033. And IREN used these to retire a convertible note that was at 3.5% due 2029, and then another one that was 3.25% due 2030. For the rest of the proceeds that were not used to retire the old notes, IREN is going to enter into cap call transactions to hedge any downside here. Seems like an obvious one for me. I think it's interesting considering we were hearing rumblings that the debt markets for some of these AI companies, Bitcoin miners pivoting, were kind of drying up. We started seeing, more creative strategies like secured notes from TeraWolf and others. Now it seems like obviously IREN's getting a pretty good deal here. Seems kind of cut and dry. Curious what y'all think.
Yeah, this looks like a refinancing. Looks like you're retiring some shorter term, higher rate debt, swapping it out for some longer duration, cheaper, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it probably helps, right, that they have grown so much lately that the AI strategy looks effective, that the markets have viewed it that way. So from a capital market standpoint, I think, they saw appetite for this and they are taking advantage of it.
I'm starting to think there's like an element of capital raising, which is really just like purely signaling to market. Like there is this additional benefit of like rolling over longer duration and lower costs, which is great. But there's also just like conveying to the market, it's like, we can go raise $1 billion. I don't know how long it took them to raise this. Let's call it like 2-3 weeks. And that itself is like a signal of strength. And I think companies like MicroStrategy and others are also deploying that now, just like basically telling the market, hey, we can go raise funds when we need to, right? And that brings like investor confidence to the company and to the stock.
It's a really good point. Just to highlight that, Ethan, IREN announced the pricing of this last week, so they were certainly shopping around beforehand, and they filled the raise. So it was originally $2 billion with another $300 million optional considerations, and they ended up tapping it out for this raise, it looks like. And they also have an equity component to this right now. It looks like they're trying to shop around 1.63 billion in equity. So we'll see if that hits. So this is the coverage that we did last week of the pricings. And I think to your point, Ethan, that does send a strong signal. It's like IREN priced this thing and they were able to fill it out completely.